In 1998, Nissan created the GTR Skyline R34, known as one of the best JDM cars of all time, being an all-time favorite for car enthusiasts, and being an overall great car. Um, the R34 had great specs. It had a great history in the racing tracks, and the combination of USA import laws and Hollywood's green time made this car really popular throughout the whole car community. Not only them, but just generals that fell in love with how the car looked and how much power the car had overall. Um, the Nissan Skyline was able to make 276 horsepower as a stock version. It was able to compete with, at the time, what were supercars for only a third of the price. And like I said, it was very unobtainable here in the USA, which just made it a lot more popular, and it just created a sense that people wanted it a lot more. So let's talk about the car specs. The Nissan R34 had a 2.6 liter straight six RB26 engine, which was advertised as 276 horsepower, but in reality it had about 310, and with a few mechanical adjustments, that number could go up to 400. Pretty simple. It was like basic changing bolts and overriding electric limitations that the car had that would increase this number from 310 to 400. Now we see cars that had now we see these R34s that have up to 1,000 powers, because we have a lot of parts now that they're able to upgrade, and they increase the horsepower by a lot. The engine allowed for top speed at early RPMs. The car was able to reach up to 8,000 RPMs, and it just created a lot of power. The car was also very stable. It was very good at turning at high speeds, which helped them in the racing track. So they won different titles. They won the Le Mans 1000. They also won a lot of the major Japanese tournaments that these cars were expected to win, which they did that. They kept the Nissan legacy going on. Now let's talk about why this car was so popular here in the US. The USA has strict import laws when it comes to cars, so any foreign car has to be at least 25 years old for them to be able to pass USA, be legal here to drive. These cars were not. They were just about 5 to 10 years old, so they were pretty much non-existent here in the USA. So, within the car community, people already liked the car, and the Skyline name was already big. So, they couldn't get that. But there was a Hollywood franchise known as Fast and the Furious that had this car in it. Paul Walker, who played Brian in the movie, had this R34 Skyline. It was bright orange, and it had angel wings on the side. The movie was very successful, and it just kind of put the car out there. It gave it a lot of screen time. We saw it a lot throughout the movie, and it just, those who watched the movie fell in love with the car. So it gave the car a lot of popularity outside of the car community. A simple civilian would pretty much not be able to identify this car. So when you combine, when you combine the car only being 5 to 10 years old, not being able to import it here, and how popular it got through because of a Hollywood movie, it just made this car very, very popular, and it made it very very of a grail item for car collectors. So it retailed about $70,000 to $85,000 depending on which version you got, and resale price was double that. It could go from $150,000 to $200,000 for the R34. So the R34 had great car specs. It was very powerful. It was very stable, and it had great history within the car community, and all the compliments that it got. Not only that, but the strict USA laws and the Hollywood movies that this car was featuring really made this car popular throughout. and is one of the most popular cars that we've ever seen throughout the car community. It is also one of the most rare cars that were not made for many years. So this car is one of the most looked out cars that we've ever seen.